It started from primary school. I was really angry. I got in loads of fights. Then I got older. I started getting involved with selling drugs. I started getting involved with gangs, with knives, people that had guns, girls. Girls started getting pregnant, things like this. And it just got worse. Most of the guys I was hanging around with started to go to prison. And it even got to a level where a drug deal that we did went wrong. And then I ended up with a gun put to my head. I thought that was the last day of my life. Coming to the church, I found support with other youths who were just like me. And they gave me support when I needed it most. When I felt down, when I felt like I couldn't take things no more, they were always there to give me support. And that literally gave me the push, the urge to change, and I did. Because of that, I'm not involved in gangs no more. I'm not getting in fights. I don't even need to look over my shoulder to say, okay, who's looking for me? Who am I going to get into problems with now? Who am I going to get into fights with now? Who wants to kill me? And I'm happy. I'm truly happy. I'm at peace with myself.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, every once in a while, we do get angry. You know, we do lose our temper when things maybe don't go right for us, when someone annoys you, and it's just a fleeting moment, right? You could shout, you could maybe, hold your head or do something in that moment, but then after a while you calm down and then it's back to normal again. But what happens when that behavior becomes a lot more intense? It's not that fleeting moment. It's not there and then, but your anger becomes more aggressive. Maybe it's continuously shouting, it's swearing, you are abusing people verbally, physically even. You make, horrible comments to people because of your anger. Maybe you hit the wall, you stamp your fist on the table, and because of that, your behavior has gotten you into deep, deep trouble. Actually, you have a reputation now because of what you do. When you do get angry, people stay far away from you. They don't want to be around you because they know that you could explode. You are like a walking time bomb. So tonight's program is entitled simply aggressive behavior. Do you have an aggressive behavior? Have you done certain things to people that you love, very close to you, colleagues even, and you've lost your job because of it? You've had relationships ended because of your anger. Maybe you are with your partner or, you're with your family, but everything's on a knife edge. You've hit someone, and though you say sorry, you apologize for what you've done, it's like there's something inside of you controlling you. Whenever you feel yourself getting angry, it's like you know what's going to happen. You can't control yourself. Well, we want to help you tonight. If you have been abused in some way, like my guest tonight, then, since then, she started to, I won't mention the story now, but she almost was abused, and because of that, it affected relationships, and she had this anger inside of her. And maybe this is what's happened with you today. A situation in your past, it could have been an abuse, it could have been bullying, intense bullying, whether at school, whether in the workplace, and now it's affected you in such a deep way that you're angry at everyone. On tonight's program, we want to help you with this aggressive tendencies. So tonight with me, it's Lisa. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So, aggressive behavior. We all have sometimes we get angry, right? And it's normal. And it's good sometimes when we do get angry at situations, especially when things are unfair. Things don't go the way we plan. You get angry that someone disappointed you, or a situation, someone let you down, and you want to move forward, you want to move on. So you get angry, but it's just for that moment. But when it comes to aggressive behavior, it can really affect a person's entire life.
Yes, indeed, it can affect a person's entire life, and it's really important to actually identify why and where is this pent-up aggression coming from. And why do we use aggression in our day-to-day lives? So it can be used in a number of different ways, such as you said before, to express anger, or to assert dominance, or to intimidate, threaten, or even to compete with others. And psychologists distinguish between 3 types of aggression. So there's the impulsive aggression, which is shown by strong emotions, usually anger, and this form of aggression is not planned and usually takes place in the heat of the moment. There's the instrumental aggression, which is known as predatory aggression. So this is marked by behaviours that are intended to achieve a larger goal, and it is carefully planned and exists as a means to hurt. So an example of this would be robbery or deliberately harming someone else. And of course, there is the most common aggression, which is passive aggression. So this is a non-verbal type of aggression that is shown through negative behaviour, such as if you're angry with someone and cannot tell them. So there are different ways in which you can be aggressive in life. But it's really important to identify why do you have that pent-up aggression and what is causing that.
Yeah.
And just to identify what it is to go forward in life, and then, to take care of that issue.
And with any topic, Lisa, that we cover on the program, normally the person who talks about what they're going through, they always find out or try and get to the root of the problem. They find out why they are behaving like that. So it's true. Why do you behave the way that you do? You have to go back and look to see what it was. It could have been, as we mentioned, abuse. It could have been a death of a family member, right? There are people that are angry at God even. They're angry that their partner has passed away, a child has passed away, and they keep that anger inside. And out of the 3, probably that would be what, passive?
Passive aggressive, yes, I'd say would be the most common.
Yeah.
And to some extent, everyone is a bit passive aggressive, depending on what the situation is. I mean, we all can be at time to time. Say if we have no time, to help someone, or if we're too confined within our own mindset, then we can become passive aggressive even if we don't know that. Mm-hmm. So it's a common one which we're not always aware of.
This anger is part of us. If we never got angry at all, then when an injustice takes place, right? When something really bad happens to you, what would you do? Would you just smile? Would you just brush it off? No. When there is injustice, when you have been wronged, there has to be an anger inside of you to want justice. Something that was wrong to be turned right. And that's why we have courts, that's why we have judges, that's why we have, bodies that deal with injustices. We're not talking about that anger, we're talking about the aggressive anger that affects you. Something that has happened to you, and because of that, you are suffering today, and you're affecting people around you. Your life is, you're not happy with yourself. And if you say to yourself now, I recognize that I have a problem. It's a problem, and I want to address it. I don't know how, or maybe you've tried, but it's like you're struggling. Then what you can do, you can give us a call. You can give us a call. You can pick up your phone now, the number's on your screen, and there will be someone who will listen to you, and give you advice. And if you want even a prayer over the phone, if you know someone who's angry, maybe your life is in danger from your child, your teenage son, or your daughter for that matter. Maybe you are afraid of your husband. He's close to you, right? But you're afraid when he gets angry, when he drinks, or when he takes drugs, you know, you're very afraid. You don't know what could happen next. Maybe you are, you know, you've got black eyes, right? You've got marks that you hide on your body because of the aggressive behavior of that close family member. You're not alone. You don't have to be silent about this. You can speak to someone and get this off your chest, all right? And we want to help you on tonight's program. You can also not only call us, you can email us as well, right? And Facebook and Twitter and everything else, and I'm going to leave that to Lisa. Lisa, how can they contact us?
Yes, indeed, you are not alone, so please do not hesitate in contacting us if you are 18 years or over. So the lines are 020 7686 6300, that's 020 7686 6300. Alternatively, email us at help@findinganswers.tv. If you'd prefer to speak to us via social media, we're on Facebook if you search for Finding Answers, Instagram again at Finding Answers, and Twitter if you search for Finding Answers. We would really love to hear from you.
Okay, that's tonight's program. Stay with us for the next 40 or so minutes and we will do our best to help you. And of course, my guest for tonight will be sharing her story about her being aggressive and angry. We'll see you right after this break.
If you're a single mother suffering from a troubled past, then don't lose hope. There's always someone you can turn to. We understand. With all the challenges of everyday life, the financial responsibility, and the pressure of being a single parent, life can be overwhelming at times. Single parents and their children can flourish, but without the right support, a family can fall apart. The Tamar Group is there for lone parents who need guidance, support and encouragement to get them through their everyday battles. Whether it's a group discussion, a mother and child bonding session, or some personal advice, we are here for you. Everyone needs a helping hand at one point or another. Let us be yours. For more information on our meetings and where the nearest Tamar Group is to you, then visit our website uckg.org/Tamar or give us a call on 020 7686 6000.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, if you just joined us, tonight's topic is aggressive behaviour. I want you to meet my guest for tonight. Her name is Karema Henderson.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Karema, welcome to the program. I almost forgot your name just there.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so Karema, you, on tonight's topic about aggressive behaviour,
Yes.
you got very angry with situations that happened to you, right?
Yes.
Starting from a very young age.
Yes.
Now, tell us about that. What happened to you when you were, you were a young girl?
When I was about the age of 12, my stepdad tried to abuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen, but I decided to tell my mom.
Right.
My mom didn't believe me. So because of that, I wasn't allowed anymore to stay at the home. So
Who didn't allow you to stay at home?
my stepdad, he said I couldn't stay there anymore.
Right.
Because he said I was lying.
Right.
And my mom didn't believe me, so he said I couldn't stay.
So, again, we've had people on the program, women, who have said the same thing, young girls even,
Yes.
said that family members didn't believe them or they trusted in their parent
Yes.
to believe them, and when that loved one didn't believe them, so then they felt unloved, right?
Yes.
In your case, you probably felt unloved,
Yes.
but also angry as well.
Yes, I felt unloved and feel very angry as well because it was my mom. And if it was someone else, then I wouldn't expect that much from them. But because it's my mom, and I feel my mom, she's supposed to be the one to support me. And she wasn't there for me at that time, especially in that situation.
So your relationship with I grew up with a stepdad, which I considered my dad.
Yes.
And it felt normal in the house. But in your case, you didn't get along with him.
At first, I used to get along with him as normal, as I accept him as my dad.
Right.
But then after he tried to do that,
Okay.
everything changed. I get to hate him because he wasn't my dad anymore, because it's like he's like outside. Because how can you try to do someone that you would class as your daughter?
Now, was this in Jamaica? Because I heard your
Yes,
accent.
it was in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, okay. So you were told to leave. Where did you go and live then?
Okay, I was told to leave, and then my gran, she came by the house and take me for a couple of days, and then my aunt decided to take me because of this happened, and my mom didn't believe me. It split the family, so because of that, the family separated at that time.
Really?
Yes, and that become
because of this situation. So was this your aunt from your mum's side or your dad's
yes.
side? So your aunt became your mum?
My aunt became my mom.
Right.
And that separated my aunts and my mom. They were no longer talking. My gran, she was no longer talking to my mom as well. So my family was separated at that time. And it's like a fight.
How did that make you feel? Did you kind of blame yourself because
Yes.
like the family are divided because of this allegation,
Yes.
right, of sexual abuse?
Yes, I did blame myself because my family was no longer united anymore. They were separating, and because of this happened, it would be always be in a fight. And I was like the one that I put my family in through this situation. And sometimes I would think that if I stay and didn't say anything, my family would be united.
Right.
So I always blame myself. So because of this, I grew up with hatred inside of me. Towards my stepdad.
Right.
I always tried to hate my mom, but I couldn't find the desire to hate my mom. So the hatred go towards my stepdad. And then as well, I start hating myself as well because I'm the one who divide the family. The family is separated now. They arguing, they having problem against each other. So I start blaming myself.
Right. Did you, because of these thoughts that you had, blaming yourself?
Yeah.
Did you kind of do anything extreme or,
At that time, many times I would feel like to kill myself, but I didn't have that desire to kill myself. I would feel like I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't have the strength to do it. So what I would do, I would just cut my hair. Every time my hair grew.
At 12 years old?
Yeah. I would just cut it and...
What, short?
Yeah, I would have like 2 ponies, and I would just hold the scissors and I would just cut them to a short length. And every time it grew, I would just take my hanger out and that, because I was young, so I didn't have much to do.
Did you self-harm at that time? Was there anything like that, cutting yourself?
No, I didn't self-harm because I didn't know about those things, so I didn't self-harm.
So that was a big weight on a young girl's shoulders, right?
Yes, it was.
How did it affect your schooling?
I would cover it up because of my mom. I didn't allow to see my mom anymore. I always tried to put out the best, because I said, if my mom is gone, that's the only opportunity I have to study and make something out of life. So I would put it to the side and I would study in my school and stuff like that.
And did you do well in school?
Yes, I did do well in school, but the only problem is when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I would really depress. I would cry. I didn't love myself because I was the problem. I think at the time I was the problem. So.
So tell us then, this anger was inside of you.
Yes.
You did something aggressive, not towards anyone else, but towards yourself.
Yeah.
Which was kind of abuse, cutting your hair.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What did you think when you looked in the mirror? Did you feel or think that you were ugly? That's why you cut your hair, or what?
I wouldn't look in the mirror.
You wouldn't?
No, because I didn't like myself. So if I look in the mirror, I'm going to see myself. And I didn't like myself because I don't want to see myself. I'm the one who separates my family.
Did you think that you were ugly? Did you think that?
No, I didn't think I was ugly, but I just didn't like myself.
Right, okay. So, growing up with this anger, how did it affect you as you grew up?
After growing up with the anger, because I didn't decide to speak to anyone, or I didn't feel comfortable speaking to anyone, because the first happened, my mom didn't trust me. I feel like no one else in life would trust me anymore. Right. So whatever I have inside of me, it would stay inside of me, because who's gonna believe me? If my mom doesn't believe me, no one would believe me. So I grew up with this anger inside of me, and I wouldn't tell anyone. I would live with it. So because of this, it made my life become a mess. I ended up having a relationship, and because of that, my mom ended the relationship. And
your mom?
Yes, my mom I get pregnant.
So she came back into your life?
My mom came back in my life. I get pregnant at the age 18.
Right.
And my mom decided I have to come back to the house. And when I came back to the house, she decided to end the relationship. So because of she ended the relationship, and the partner wasn't okay with the relationship, and he decided to take the child.
Right.
So because of this, I even get more depressed, because it's like my life getting from worse.
So how come you lost custody of your child then?
Because at that age, I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. Because I was young and they take the child away from me. I didn't know what to do, and they were like a family that have money. So they take the child away from me, and I didn't know what to do. My mom wasn't there. My mom didn't want to help me to get back or anything. So
things weren't fine with your mum. The child was taken away from you, your child, your baby. How did you feel? Because you hadn't gotten over the first incident, what, 6 or so years previous to that? So how were you feeling at this point?
At that point, I feel like for me to live, it doesn't make sense, because In the first place, my mom disappointed me. Now I have a child. That the child, I at the time now, I said, okay, I can love somebody. I can have someone who I can love. But then my child was taken from me again. So that even made my life get worse. My life become a mess. I didn't have the desire to live anymore. I was just walking like without a reason.
Right.
So yeah, my life was from going down from bad to worse.
So did you still have, did this depression kind of get worse? Did it get better and then it started again?
The depression really get worse because I couldn't do nothing now. I was like, I get really nervous. I couldn't sleep properly. It started affect my health.
Really?
At that point.
In what way?
I wouldn't remember anything. If normal thing, I couldn't remember. Like I was writing and I couldn't remember what to say in the letter or stuff like that. My health started deteriorating.
So your mental health started to get worse.
Yeah.
At this time, had you been in education? Were you at school or college or anything like that? No.
I wasn't in education at that time. I was out of education because I just have a baby.
Right. So, your partner, the father of your child.
Yeah.
You broke up? Did you?
Yeah, we broke up because my mom ended the relationship.
Right.
And then after he take the baby away, she sent me back to live with my aunt.
Right.
And my aunt was living a different city from my mom. So I didn't have contact.
So you're back at kind of square one, if I can say it, in the beginning, and a lot worse.
Yeah, a lot worse. It's just like I have the child and then someone take away the child.
Did you do anything extreme now you were older? 12 years old, you cut your hair.
Yeah.
You had this anger inside of you. Did it kind of get worse? Did you do more extreme things?
Yes, I do more extreme things because what I do now, I decide that my interests grow towards men this time. So I end up get involved in another relationship and I have another child. But this time the dad was there. So,
stop there. You had a hatred towards men.
Yeah.
Obviously because of the thing with your stepdad. Your first partner left you.
Yeah.
Took the child. Why did you start a second relationship?
Because I went to the relationship for someone to help me because I want to go back to school. And I find that's the only way out because I don't have any help.
Help you in what way?
For someone to pay for me to go back to school.
Right.
So I went to the relationship for that. But after I end up get pregnant again. Okay. So this is the reason why I went in the relationship. So after having another baby, I went back to school and I study, get a qualification. So I start working now. So when I start working, things get really worse because I feel like I don't need my partner anymore.
Right.
Because I've got hatred against men, and this is not going to help me now because.
Did you purposely want a child because maybe you lost your first one?
No, I didn't want.
It was by accident.
Yeah, I didn't want the child, but I didn't want to abort the child.
Right.
So I fell pregnant, and I just decided to bring the child.
So now you've got a second child.
Yeah.
You had a hatred, this anger towards your second partner.
Yeah.
Were you living together?
Yeah, we were living together.
But how was life at home with this anger inside of you towards him?
At first, I used to pretend. I would cover up because I would let no one know what I'm going through. I'm the only one know what I'm going through. So at first, I used to pretend because I know what I was going in the relationship for. I was going in the relationship for someone to help me. So I went in the relationship for someone to help me, but I fell pregnant. So I have to stay in the relationship because now I've got a child, another child again. You were a ticking time bomb, weren't you? Yes. Tell us what happened. Yes. What happened in the relationship? Everything gets worse. It become domestic violence, because we used to fight, we used to argue, show things around. And then after he moved to this country, and he decided that he's gonna take me here. And after he take me here.
Did it get worse?
Yes, it get worse.
So the idea was to have a better life or something, was it, in the UK?
Yes.
You came over?
Yeah.
But things didn't change?
No, things didn't.
Did you think things would get better by moving to the UK?
I know things will get better because I am suffering. I'm suffering, I need help, but I don't know who's gonna help me because I didn't trust anyone. So I just gonna live my life until I died because I didn't think I would live to go past 30 because I think my life would end before that because the way I was living, my health was going. So I was just living for living's sake until I died.
Right. So the way that the aggressive behavior that you had was in your relationship, right? It was like all that anger, all that pent up anger.
Yeah.
You took it out on your partner. You throw things at him. What did you do? Fight, punch? Yeah,
I would fight. If he says something to me and I didn't like, because he always come to me and say to me that, okay, we have a child and we're gonna get married. And I would hate when he say that word because I didn't want anyone, I didn't want to have a relationship, much as to get married. So it would start from there. It's just fight, and he would punch me back as well. Because,
really?
Yes, because when he see that it's happening too regular now, so he start to punch me back as well. And then...
Was that to defend himself, or was like, I'm gonna hit you anywhere like a man?
Because I always start punching, and I start, whatever I get, I would just hit him with it or something like that. So he decided to fight back now. So if sometimes we would have fights, my mouth would be bleeding.
Where he punched you?
Yeah, my mouth would be bleeding, he would be bleeding, and that doesn't stop me. I would just go same way because I couldn't control my temper.
Just before we go for a break, when you know, the fight was over, it's night now, you're in your bed, did you kind of feel I shouldn't have done what I did, or did you cry yourself to sleep, or were you just still angry?
I was still angry because after we fight, I couldn't, even though he was the one who got the house, I would call the police and I would tell them that he abused me, so you have to stay away from the house.
Right.
And I was still angry even 2 months after.
Right.
So I wouldn't feel sorry because I was hurting inside.
So you've heard Karema's story up until now, and maybe this is your life. You're angry and you're taking it out on other people, you're taking it out on your loved ones. Maybe you have scars on yourself which is self-inflicted. You punch walls, you break mirrors. Your anger is controlling you and you don't know what to do. You feel helpless and hopeless. If you want help, and you'll hear in the second part how Karema found help. She got help. I assume you're not an angry person anymore.
No, I'm not.
You're going to hear how her life turned around. So stay tuned for that, okay? We'll be back with our street interviews. We'll see you after this.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers, where in a moment we'll be joined by Karema again to hear about her experience with aggression. However, what do you think on the topic? We sent Christy out to the streets of London to find out.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi everyone, it's Christy here on Finding Answers, and tonight's topic is aggressive behaviour. As human beings, it's in our nature to be competitive, and I guess a little competition here and there doesn't cause any harm. However, what do we do when this feeling of competition causes us to lash out in aggressive manners? Well, let's see what the public have to say. What are good tips to avoid aggressive behaviour?
Stay calm, breathe, think about what the consequences of your actions are going to be. Think about whether what you're lashing out at is worth lashing out over. If it's someone, if you've dropped your phone, for example, and you've cracked your screen, we all get annoyed, but you don't need to take it out on somebody else. It's an accident. If you split up in a relationship, yes, sometimes it's not amicable, but a lot of the time, it is. So don't lash out, because that person is going to have their own reasons. So why take it out on them? Just stay calm. So therefore, you're thinking about what you're doing. Ultimately you're going to affect your own self.
If you had a friend who was aggressive, I would probably say try not to put them in a situation where they feel uncomfortable or where it would trigger something like that. Choosing on a night out, watching what you drink, or removing them from situations where that could spiral out of control and that could cause that type of behaviour.
Don't just react straight away. Try and assess the situation. That would be the best thing to do, because it just avoids unnecessary situations. Because one act of violence could completely change your life for good. Because you could be saying one act of violence could kill someone. Yeah. And you're not that kind of person, but it could happen. So just reassessing the situation would be a lot better.
I like to do meditation and things, so that helps calm you down and stop. If you are an aggressive person, it's a good way of clearing your mind. I think to avoid other people with aggression, just kind of take a step back and there's no one ever wins any argument, because even if you think you've won, the other person doesn't think you've won, so there's no point in getting involved in any kind of confrontation. That's what I think.
So very interesting opinions from the streets of London. But here in the studio, we are yet again joined by Karema. Good evening, Karema. Good evening. What would you say was the worst moment with you with regards to your aggression?
The worst moment was when my health started deteriorating. I start of sleepless nights because I suffer really from bad depression. I start partying, but that wouldn't help me. It would let things become worse. I would go to the doctor for the medication, but I would take the medication. So it become worse. My health goes. So that was my worst moment.
And how did you feel about yourself? Do you think you took a lot of your aggressive behaviour out on your own self? Were you your worst own inner critic, basically?
I take my aggressive behaviour out on myself and anyone around me. So I would just take it out on other people as well, like speaking to them harshly, saying comments about them, speaking to them not in a good way, but really bad way. At work, I would, if they say anything to me, I would shout. Yeah.
You know, your life was really bad.
Yes,
right?
It was bad.
Now, the thing is, you got help. Yes, you found help. And I want to know, I'm sure everyone else at home would like to know, how you are here today. You're calm now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know, you're not lashing out at anyone.
No.
I'm sure this anger that was there is no longer there anymore.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you change?
Okay. My friend invited me to a place of worship at Chico. And I accept the invitation,
right,
just like a normal, because other people would invite me, I would go.
Your friend, did this friend know about what you're going through?
Some.
Yeah.
She didn't know about everything, because I would not tell anyone about majority of it, the most important that we'll go through. But then she knew about some of it. She knew about the domestic violence because she used to live the same house with me, so she knew about that part. So she invited me.
So how was it then when you went along?
The first day when I went, it was different, because after prayer and the meeting finished and I go home, I could sleep. And at first I couldn't sleep.
And you just mentioned that that was one of your worst moments, right?
Yes.
Not being able to sleep.
I wasn't being able to sleep, and I didn't sleep for a long time. And that's the first time I could sleep.
How long was it that you weren't able to sleep for?
That was long, because probably over 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So the first, after the prayer, first night?
The first night I sleep.
You were able to sleep in 10 years?
Oh yeah, I was able to sleep, and I overslept as well. So
it's 10 years of catching up, right?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I find it really interesting, because I normally go different place of worship, but this time it was different, and I said something different there. Right. So I find it interesting, so I want to go back.
But the thing is, you still had this anger.
Yeah, I still have that anger. Yeah.
How did you deal with this anger? How did you, kind of get rid of it?
The way I decided to speak to someone. Right. This time, for the first time, I decided to trust someone to speak to them. It didn't happen at first, but after attending seminar and stuff like that there, I decided to speak to someone. And then when I realized I speak to someone, I feel better, because what was inside of me for many years that I didn't speak about, I was able to share it with someone else. Right. So I feel better, and eventually attending, making purpose of prayer.
How important were the prayers? Because it was the prayers, that the faith part, the element. So how important was prayer? Because some people, they would go to, I don't know, counseling, for example, and there's that element of sharing your problems with someone. Yeah. Right? But you did that as well.
Yes.
But how important was the faith part, the prayer side of things?
The prayer part was the most important part for me, because I never see like people would pray and this would happen, because I didn't know about prayer could work like this. So when I go there and see the prayer, it do help me. So
In what way?
Because my faith, I start believing myself. I start see that I need help. It was someone done something to me and I need help. And also learn to forgive as well.
Right.
To forgive the person as well.
So there was forgiving your stepfather?
Yes.
And was there anyone else? What about the fathers of your children?
Yes, I learned to forgive
them as well.
Yes,
so you don't have
well.
any ill feeling towards them.
No.
And you know a lot when it comes to forgiveness and you know putting to bed all hurt, right? Prayer works.
Yes.
There are people that can't forgive. They can't forgive because of what's happened to them. But through faith, it's a faith part. It's believing in letting go of the past, putting it to bed and letting God taking care of the rest, right?
Yes, yes.
And you were able to do that?
Yes, I was able to do that. At first, I think, no, I can't forgive because how can I forgive somebody who hurt me like this? But then by praying and asking God to help me.
Did you go and actually speak to them as well? You had to confront them or face them?
I phoned as well.
Right.
Because they're in a different country.
Right.
So I phoned.
How did that feel? Just by talking to them, and how did you feel when you spoke to them?
Before I phoned, I called 3 times and I hung up the phone. I called again. I was nervous for an hour before I said, okay, I'm going to phone and forgive. But then after I forgive the person, it was totally different.
That's the thing. Some people may have stopped at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel nervous, so I'm not going to do it. They should apologize to me. But the fact that you did it,
yeah,
it was like a big weight off your shoulders,
yeah,
right?
I feel
and
like,
you felt better.
Yeah, I feel better. I feel light. I feel like all these years I was like carrying a baggage. I didn't have any baggage to take around with me anymore.
Yes.
Because I was free.
Karema, how are you today?
Today, I'm good. I'm good. I'm much different from before.
No more aggressive behavior.
No more aggressive behavior. And now my child, she's living with me now.
Brilliant.
And my life is totally different.
Thank you very much for coming sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
We're going to go for a very quick break, and when we come back, we will be praying as Karema prayed. Karema, things started with prayer, the faith element, but you saw the picture of how she is today. If you want the same thing, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Uplifting.
Exciting.
Diverse.
Informative.
Courageous.
Bold.
Passionate.
Powerful.
Good evening, welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayer, the Bible talks about anger. God says, in your anger, do not sin. In other words, when you're angry, don't do any wrong. Don't make any decisions. Don't do anything that may jeopardize a relationship, jeopardize your job, right? Jeopardize your freedom even. So think before you do something, as one of the people did say on the streets of London in the chats, right? Think about what you're doing. Take a deep breath. And before you take any action, take a step back. And that's God's advice. He says, in your anger, do not sin. So I want to pray that if you do feel angry, you do get angry regarding a situation or a person or whatever it is you may be facing, I'm going to pray for God to give you that ability to take a step back, to think, and then take a wise decision, but one that will change the course of your actions. It's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer for your health and general well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray now for people like Karema, how she used to be with her anger, with the disappointments that this person is facing. My Lord, we know that when we are angry, we are liable to do and say things to hurt other people, even harming and hurting ourselves. Father, I ask you to help this person to have self-control. Instead of lashing out at a loved one, instead of abusing even themselves, maybe taking an overdose, or getting drunk, or swearing, fighting someone, anyone. My God, I ask you to help this person to have self-control. It's one of your characteristics. It's a virtue, a virtue that you have. And I pray that this person may have self-control so that they won't hurt anyone, but they will think, my Lord. They will take a deep breath, my Father, and think before they say or do anything else. If this person has, my Lord, a weak willpower, so may your Spirit guide them, may your Spirit strengthen them in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. When they'll drink this glass of water, may you help this person, my God. Forgive those who hurt them and forget and move on from their past. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Drink this glass of water now and let it be a point of contact between you and God. In Jesus' name. So, remember, take a deep breath. Think first. And if you are, at any point, you do feel weak, you feel yourself getting angry, then do what we just did now, right? Pray. Even if you don't believe in God and you've tried everything, then just pray to God, help me. Just ask him to help you when you feel angry. And he will take that feeling away from you if your prayer is sincere. Okay? Till the next time, have a wonderful night. God bless you.